Hi, so today I'd like to talk about one of the absolute worst things you can do if you have employees at your business, and that's undermine them and tell them what they should be doing when you're pretending to give them authority, and also going behind their back and changing their decisions when their decisions were not really that bad. So, one of the things that people are interested in is how is it that I'm able to do a course? How is it that I'm able to leave and I don't care about my phone being on? So other people will leave, but there's this whole idea with business people of you have to have your phone with you at all times. You have to answer this thing at all times because you run a business. And the reality is if you run a proper business, it's good to be there. It's good to make sure that things are going the way it's supposed to. It's good to build on your business. It's good to even sometimes on rare occasion work within your business, but you should not have to answer this all the time. In fact, you should actually have the freedom to never have to answer this thing at all because your business should just kind of run itself. And what I'm finding with a lot of people that are coming to the class is that they are answering like nonstop questions. They are texting and calling. Sometimes I even see people in class that are actually taking phone calls and putting out fires left and right. And the reality is you should not have to do any of this. Your employees should be solving problems for you. Employees are not there to bring you problems. Employees exist to solve problems. That's why that when you used to go to a store and you used to see like a little sign on the outside, it didn't say we want employees, it said help wanted. It said help wanted because I don't want employees. I don't want people that I give checks to that bring me problems. I want help, and I'm willing to pay for help. But I want help that feels empowered to make their own decisions. So you have a lot of people that won't even let people make their own decisions. They will crucify and chastise people that make a decision if they think that that's not the 100% right thing to do. I will always stand by the decisions that my employees make unless it is just a complete and utter nightmare and clusterfuck. And then we'll talk about what could have been done better later. We could talk about what it is that I am trying to do here later, like what the company culture is, how it is we handle these situations. But at the time that they make the decision, I support their decision. Just because it was a decision, just the fact that you used your own brain to try to come up with a solution to a problem, instead of bothering me on my day off, high five. Let's take some time out to appreciate that before we shit can the work that they did. Thank you for actually coming up with some type of plan on how to do something when I wasn't there to make it for you. That's the first thing. Celebrate that. Don't chastise that. Unless you're dealing with somebody who thought, like, we're getting fire sprinklers installed today. Let me decide to make s'mores using my boss's soldering station. Like, unless it's something really, really dumb, you shouldn't chastise it. And you should also not try to give them the kind of fake authority, meaning, well, you can do whatever you want, but if I were you, I would do... Because, well, what the fuck does that mean? What that means is you can do whatever you want, but you won't get promoted unless you do exactly what I want and kiss my ass. That's the message that you're sending. You may think you're giving advice, but when you say things like that, you're actually sending a bullshit message. What you should say is, instead of, this is what you should do, or this is what I would do if you were you, cut that shit. Instead of doing that, tell people, here is what we would like to accomplish. Have fun. And a lot of employees are going to think that you're purposely trolling them, and they're going to think that this is ridiculous. But if you actually give them that, and then you don't chastise them for everything they do along the way, you'll find that they come up with a great way to do things. But if you say, try anything you want, but here's what I would do. Again, you're sending the message that you pretty much need to okay with me everything that you do. If you say, here's what we're trying to accomplish, go for it. But then, like, let's say you're trying to clean the space up, and you start taking all the tools and putting them in the tool bin, and that person says, wait a second, we separate this from that. What are you doing? What you're saying is, this is what we want to accomplish, but I'm going to bitch you out if you don't accomplish what I want to accomplish in my exact way. Which kind of you're screwing yourself into a lifetime of employees that will be dependent on you for everything, where if you leave, you know that you have to answer questions all the time, or you'll come back to a clusterfuck. Whereas if you tell them what you want to accomplish, and you trust they're smart enough to actually accomplish it, they'll very often rise to the occasion, and you'll be able to do things like leave and not have to worry about every little thing that's going on in your business. You'll be able to take a week off to teach a class and not have to look at your phone once. Again, for so many of these days, I had the phone on silent just because I didn't want to hear from it. There were so many times that I turned this phone off, and you know what happens when I come to work? It's still here. I still have an office. Nothing has been burned down. Everything gets fixed. All the warranties get repaired the way they're supposed to. All the douchebags get handled the way they're supposed to. Everything is just the way it's supposed to because I give them that authority. And when you give them authority, real actual authority, What happens is that you'll find that, again, they often rise to the occasion and they come up with ways to manage and fix problems in their own way that doesn't require constantly calling you. But if you're constantly telling them what to do and you're constantly undermining their authority and you're constantly saying, okay, I know you told this customer that, but I'm going to call back the customer and give them my own solution. What you're saying is, hi, I know I have a customer service manager, but he's a little pawn, so fuck him. You should just tell him that you're going to file a chargeback so that I'll get directly involved and deal with you. That's bullshit. If you break another part of your machine and the service manager says, listen, that's not related to this, but we will give you 40% off of this additional repair because you paid for this already. And then that person just starts going, yeah, yeah, yeah. And you come out and say, you know what, fuck it, we'll do it all for free. Again, what you're saying there, you're sending the message to the public that they need to be dealing with you, not the service manager. So what's going to happen when you go on vacation is the service manager is going to constantly be calling you. The service manager is going to be constantly texting you. The service manager is going to be constantly emailing you, constantly bothering you, because he knows that he's going to be chastised for the decisions that he makes and how to deal with customers. So he's no longer a service manager. He's kind of like a service puppet. He's not really a manager of anything. He is just a bottom-rung employee that is dependent on you, that brings you problems. And again, you don't want people that bring you problems. These are not people you want to employ. You want to employ help. And in order to employ help, you need to give them real authority. In order to give people real authority, you need to not constantly undermine them. And you're going to find that it takes a little bit of practice to figure out how to do that. But once you do that, you really can leave and know that everything's going to be done the way it's supposed to. And you'll find that the right people will rise to the occasion and they will do the right things.